Okay.
Of course he is.
Best Frasier or port of 2024. Join. We're doing that now. Yeah, we're
Guess
going
the
to talk
best
about
for
games that are remasters or ports. This is decidedly different than a game that did not come out in 2024. These are games that did come out in 2024 based
This
on
time.
old games. An important distinction.
New old games, not old new games.
Yes. My number 3 is there is a game that is very like integral to fighting game kind of history and culture that is just fucking important. There has not been a legal way to purchase or play this game for a number of years. It is, but they fixed that this year with a collection that has not only the really important game in it, but also kind of all of the games that have led up to it. But it is the Marvel vs. Capcom collection that was released. This is all 6 of the kind of Marvel versus Capcom games. Like, so you have like X-Men, you've got Marvel superheroes, you've got Marvel vs. Capcom 1, X-Men, Street Fighter Cross, X-Men, things like that. It's got rollback netcode put in. Really just generally slick interface, good faithful ports that all run accurately. They also are like the final revisions for the arcade versions. So you get access, you can do like all the secret characters and stuff like Robo Akuma. They even have Norimaru playable in one of them, which was originally exclusive to Japanese arcade cabinets. Yeah, they're just really good definitive versions of those games that can now be accessed again and also have rollback netcode. And also, Justin Wong went and got to #1 rank on the leaderboards day one on all 3 platforms and was beating the shit out of people because he's the best Marvel player in the world. Which that was a really fun time. So I'm super happy those games are available again. I don't love them, but they're fucking important. So people should be able to get at them. But Ryan, what is your number 3?
Speaking of games that I love that are also important, Tetris Forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically a collection of a bunch of Tetris games. Weirdly enough, not a lot of the important Tetris games.
We'll talk about it.
We will. Things can be in multiple categories.
That's true.
And it's that digital interactive documentary thing. So you get to kind of look at some Tetris ephemera. You get to watch some little films about it. You get to see Character of the Year Hank Rogers. It's a really good collection. What's that?
His Tetris suit jacket.
Oh yeah,
it's so good.
And you just get a good collection of Tetris games and a couple of its spin-offs.
Play Hatris, which honestly should count for like negative Tetris games.
Yeah, I want to play Faces.
Lily, what game do you have that should count for negative Tetrises?
Well, so at this point, I have 2 games in this category.
Then we'll come back around to you.
Nice, your list is doubled.
Jason.
One of them's dashes, so.
Jason say you only had 1?
Yeah.
I only have 1.
But I want to make him say it on camera. Hunter.
I guess like I have 1.5.
What the fuck? Whatever. Hunter,
go. My number 3, I put The Thing, the movie, the video game remastered.
Oh, I want to play that.
I do too.
I have the original one. Like
they
off
apparently fixed some stuff in it where in the game itself, when you're shooting a thing monster, in order to actually kill it, you have to use your flamethrower on it when it's near death. And they added a thing where, when it's close enough to dying that you need to use the flamethrower. It added a little fire marker in the middle of your aiming thing over it, so that way it lets you know, hey, just torch this thing. But they also did. I know they changed some models of props to be closer to how it was in the movie, and then they also added more like blue lighting outside in the snow to make it closer to the movie itself, where they used a lot of blue lighting outside in the outdoor sections to make it look colder.
Well, it was in Antarctica, so that's just the natural light.
Yeah, it just looks like that.
because of how cold it is.
Well, yeah, but the video game wasn't made in Antarctica, so they forgot to do that.
Mm.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
But in this part, they knew to do that now.
Smart.
I want to
There
play
was
that.
also there were bits in the original version where if you had squad mates, even if they were perfectly fine, they would just immediately like you would cross a room and it would hit a flag and be like, "Oh, now they're a thing monster and they want to kill you." Even if you could like literally stop before the trigger, use like a blood test thing on them to prove that they're normal, and then take one step backwards, and then they're just turn into a thing monster originally, and that's not a thing anymore.
That's not the thing.
Yeah. So you can actually like enter boss fights with squad mates in a supposed to be squad based shooter.
I want to play that.
I want to play that. I've been wanting to
Danny.
play that since PS2.
I also only have 2 games in this category. So
Go fuck yourself.
Just
That's what
say
I
the
say.
thing, the movie,
They
the
should have
video
released
game.
more ports
remastered.
and remasters.
They
this year,
fucking
last
did.
year.
You
Prove
fucking
it.
chumps.
Yeah,
We
Okay.
released so many of them.
So many good ones.
Because new games suck, so all they have to do is re-release old ones.
Okay, Zane. Love to hear it.
Wario Land 2.
Now, my number 2, they took the best Sonic game and then put a bester Sonic game in alongside it. It is Sonic Cross Shadow Generations. This has the entirety of Sonic Generations inside, and then they put in these new Shadow levels and also like Shadow Frontiers in it. And what they did with that Shadow game is the best Sonic game that's ever been made. It takes all of the stuff they kind of put into Frontiers along with the really good like level design from Generations and just really tunes it and tweaks it and gets it going just right. And also whatever you get Sonic Generations with it also.
Can you still hang out with Big the Cat?
Yes, Big the Cat is there.
Okay. Good.
Does Shadow have a gun?
He not that he can just freely use.
Land.
well,
he
then
gets it in some
what's the
quick time
point in
events.
playing it?
Because it
Yeah.
plays like a fucking Sonic game instead of whatever the fuck Shadow the Hedgehog was.
That's not a positive.
He gets a gun in the third movie. And he has trigger discipline.
Do you think Keanu Reeves
Not much of an
insisted on that?
anti-hero, if you ask
Oh,
me.
I'm sure. So yeah, Sonic X Shadow Generations is really fucking good. I know the kind of fights I like to pick, and I'm not going to fight for other people to play that game because it's not even the best game by Sega I would like people to play. But Ryan, what is your number 2?
I'm just going to keep it going with these interactive documentary things and say Llama Soft, the Jeffrey Minter story. I think it's, while not as important as Tetris, there's at least some variety across the games, and this dude made some weird games. And I think this one works better as kind of a museum piece, just because there are so many like kind of oddities and curiosities. His story's more interesting. He's got a lot more kind of Jeffrey Minter based like documents and stuff to look at. Yeah, I just think overall it was a better collection versus Tetris Forever.
I'm inclined to agree. Lily, what do you think is a better collection than Tetris Forever?
Okay, well, so my number 3 is now Marvel versus Capcom because I had not
Motherfuckers.
considered that.
You played that with me.
I know, I forgot
You
about
spent a
it.
whole
That's-
day playing it.
I forgot about it.
Must not be
Okay,
very
excuse me.
memorable.
I
Damn
played a
it.
lot of games this year. Also, is Sonic Generations not already on modern consoles? I didn't realize that was a remaster, so I guess it's my number 2.
Okay. I mean, it's a remaster, but you get the shadow stuff. That's
Yeah,
the
sure.
addition.
Okay. But Yeah, that's gonna be my number 2.
Cool. See what you like about Sonic the Hedgehog, Lily. I dare you. I double dare you, motherfucker.
Say what I like about Sonic the
Yeah, what do you like
Hedgehog.
about Sonic the Hedgehog?
Go fast.
Go
Spike.
fast.
Go
Active
fast
chili
music
dog.
whips.
Yeah, it does.
That's what I
Jason,
like about Sonic.
have you come up with a number? What's your half game?
Tetris Forever.
You play Tetris forever?
I've dabbled very lightly in it, so to the point that I didn't even think about including it on the list.
Okay, sure, whatever.
I haven't actually gotten into any of the like history parts of it. I've just played Tetris on it.
Good. It's a
And
good,
they
you
good
all
thing
should
to
play.
play.
You should play Time Warp. Make sure you hit Time Warp
Play
in
Time
there.
Warp.
They're all, I really expected there to be good Tetrises on it.
We'll talk about it.
We
They're all
will.
We'll fucking talk about it. We'll get
They'll
there.
come up.
okay. Next.
Hunter, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is the Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 1 and 2 remasters.
How are
Was-
those?
I bought them.
I mean,
They're in the library.
I was starting to play it. They seem pretty cool. I put it on here less for the remastered graphics, which honestly, outside of Raziel's model, looks kind of weird. But more that I can actually play these now without having to emulate them somehow. Because I had always been interested in it, but my only exposure to it was a PS1 demo disc when I was like 6, and it was rated M, so I was all scared to actually play it because I didn't want my mommy to find me
Joe
playing a
Biden's going to
game
come and
I
kill
wasn't
you
allowed
right
to.
now.
Yeah, no, Hunter, you and I have the same exact experience with those games. It was on a demo disc as a trailer, and I was like, I can't. It's rated M. There's blood.
Yeah,
It's
can't do
scary.
it.
The
I can
freaks
barely play
seem
a
to love
rated
those
T.
games, but I did buy him, and I want to kind of get into it. I booted up and like kind of played the tutorial.
Yeah, I was
But-
playing it a little bit. The keyboard controls are kind of bad, so
I'm
that's definitely
playing
a
on a Steam
controller
Deck.
game.
Having a good time with it. Danny, tell me a number 2.
Yeah, my number 2 is Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection.
Motherfuckers, but okay, you at least got it in time.
Yeah. It's yeah, no, I mean I didn't play a lot of ports or remasters, but it's a good collection. I have always liked the Marvel vs. Capcom fighting games, and or at least the ones that I've been able to play, and this opens up the ability to play quite a few of them. Some of them are better than others, and they're all decent fighting games.
And we ranked all of them
We did separately.
separately. Well, that's going to bring us back around to the number 1s. So continuing the trend of old JRPGs, my enjoyment of both Chrono Trigger and then Yakuza 8 Infinite Wealth this year led me down the true like dark path of this world, and I played a Dragon Quest. They did Square Enix did one of those 2D HD remake games that I sing the praises of every single year, and I think I might be a Dragon Quest guy, not a Final Fantasy guy.
They're good.
And I
It's
don't know.
slime.
I don't know how to feel about this information, but I'm really enjoying 11, and I fucking loved this remake of 3. It does the thing in it, and I don't know like how indicative this is of the franchise. There is a certain point where it just kind of like after you kind of an extended tutorial or like learning the basics of the game and everything, where it just gives you a boat, it opens up the world and says, okay, you need to get these 7 fucking magic or 6 something magic eggs
Mm.
and go do it. You can do them in any order you want, and the only like kind of information it gives you is kind of like where you would need to go, but in order to like solve the puzzles and figure this stuff out, like I had a notebook with Dragon Quest 3, which is now more and more kind of becoming my litmus test of like what's a really good game, of just like learning the information from different towns and like doing things to figure out the puzzles, to get secrets, do all sorts of things like that. The job system in it is really really cool and really really fun. The monster designs, obviously with slimes etc., are really amazing. I can't speak to how this was versus the original Famicom release of it, but I found that the like difficulty and experience curve. I never once needed to grind in it. I did spend a little bit of time grinding, mostly just because I wanted to see some more abilities and subclasses and things like that, or not subclasses, but different jobs. But the game never felt like I needed to, so it was a very nice like exploration and progression curve. And beautiful game. It's a fantastic remake. I look very much forward to playing the remakes of 1 and 2 that are coming out this year.
Should definitely play 5 when you get a chance.
Sure,
He's just gonna play them all. He's
as
Dragon
we
Quest
know,
guy.
I'm the #1 JRPG fan. Like out of everyone in the world, I am the only true Japanese role-playing game fan. I'm carrying
True.
Enix on my back. I am the guy. So Ryan, what is your #1?
It's gonna be the now almost yearly release of Doom 1 and 2. So I think finally they've kind of figured out like they've got it playing the best way it can. They've gone through and added alternative soundtracks to it. They've added mod support, which they've done like one version of mods for it. I don't know if there's any announcements on if they're going to add in like GZ Doom stuff, but you basically have access to all the mods. It's got Legacy of Rust in there. It's got all like the famous mods just kind of built into it without downloading. It's just the best version of Doom 1 and 2. Like this is what you want to be playing if you're going to try out those games.
Yeah, it's crazy to me that they like find a way to do this every year and that each new release is in fact the definitive version.
Yeah.
What if we just made
Well,
Doom
'cause it's
better
always like-
again?
They add just enough
Do what?
quality of life things, or like that it's like, oh yeah,
Mhm.
I would prefer to play it this way.
Yeah. You're just like, oh, I forgot that I kind of wanted that out of the game. And then of course they always have to add in a new episode or something. So getting Legacy of Rust, I think, was worth the price of admission of nothing. But
Yeah, because Game Pass.
yeah.
Lily,
Yeah.
what did you think was worth the price of admission?
Well, the only remaster report that I played this year that I could remember that I played this year was Backyard Baseball 97.
I've been meaning to boot that up.
It's a lot of fun. It's really it's exactly how it
Completely
was.
unbalanced.
Yeah, oh yeah, Carlos is fucking killer,
Yeah.
dude. But yeah, it's the same game. I played it when I was little. It's the same game.
And really, that's
a-
all you need.
That's about all
Now
I
you can
got,
play it.
'cause
Now you
that's all
can
you
easily
need.
play it.
Now I can easily play it, and the whole game will crash if you click the little button to like print out a picture of your team.
Nice.
So don't do that.
I've been like something about like this particular episode, like something about the way Jason looks has like really been like eating away at my brain. And while he was profiled there a second ago, I realized the reason it's been eating me is 'cause he looks like the fucking president of Ukraine.
Volodymyr.
And so anyway, Jason, what's your #1 game that you're playing while trying to defeat the Russians?
Mr.
So my number
President.
one, the only game that I put any real time into this year that falls in this category is Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door.
Yeah.
I've played, I want to say like 3/4 of it so far. I think I'm on like the 6th world, maybe. I'm on an
Oh,
island.
you're on the
I don't
train?
know. I'm on an island.
Oh, the island. Okay, yeah.
But I haven't played it in a bit. But I think I'll get back to it just because I know I don't have a ton left. And I was really enjoying it. There were some slow parts for sure, but I think it's a fun game. It's a genre I don't really play often or ever. But yeah, I think it's fun. I don't have a lot specific to say about it. I mean, it's a game that's
They
20 years old at
remastered
this
one of the
point.
best JRPGs of all time.
Yeah,
They
I'm a big
good
JR I'm a big-
remaster
know.
for the most part.
I'm a big JRPG guy.
Yeah. Number 2
Number one,
JRPG.
We all
number
are
one in the
here.
world, some would
No,
say.
no, we'll not tolerate that slander. Let's go to the number 850 JRPG enjoyer. Hunter, what is your #1?
I put a Persona 3 Reload because it turns out that they just remade Persona 3 but like with newer models and stuff, and they added like super moves every character can do and whatnot, and added direct party control, which is something the original
that's the
version
big
didn't
one.
have. Um, I think it's funny that a lot of people got to experience the answer for the first time with the DLC, and it turns out the answer still sucks. So that's
I
good.
have not played. I won. I literally got every single achievement, got max level, fused all the advanced personas. I won't. I've been told not to touch the answer.
Just watch it on YouTube.
Okay.
Just, I think
I
the story is a good bit, but it is such a slog to play, even on the new version where it's easier. Because a lot of enemies have like passive abilities where if they're weak to fire, they also have triple evasion against fire attacks.
I thought about playing it as a secret reveal bit this year, but I ran out of time and didn't want to buy it.
It's on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Well, I ran out of time.
It's I did have a really good time with this was my first time getting through Persona 3 and yeah, it was a really good time.
I
I
think they they did a weird thing with the voice cast where it kind of seemed like they directed them to try to sound like the old voice cast as much as possible, which I think was a really weird choice, especially because most of them I think are do a better job as like the English voice cast, except there's one character who generally is better, but they really fuck up like the one big moment of the character, and they just and kind of ruined that bit. But I mean, overall, like
the
Ken's original voice actor was fucking horrible, so you literally could not do a worse job.
the English voice actor for the main character is also the voice of Luke in Street Fighter 6.
Yeah, I remember. I mean, he was originally Yuri Lowenthal, so also
And
anything is an improvement.
it's also he plays Gigi in Dandadan.
Okay.
Hmm.
I remember the
Any more fun
voice
facts for us, IMDb?
No, I just those two I've got memorized.
I remember, I think at some point he started playing through the game itself on like Twitch or something, which he had not done. And like every time one of his lines would come up as one of the other characters, he'd just be like, "Oh, man, oh." So I think that was kind of a funny bit, but
he's a fun guy. Danny, bring it on home. What's your number one remaster report? The one that you actually had prepared ahead of time.
Yeah, the one that I actually had prepared ahead of time, Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door,
Hell
Never heard of
yeah.
it.
remake or remaster of a very good JRPG, and it's crisp. They updated the music.
The
It's
music's so fucking good.
yeah, yeah,
And they give you a badge that lets you play the GameCube music, even if you want
right,
that.
which is
That's
still
cool. I love
extremely
alternate
good.
soundtracks.
Yeah. No, it's they didn't really need to change much, and I don't think they did, but it's just a very good game that
It's
people play.
it's one of the rare instances where the original like GameCube one runs at 60 frames a second and this one runs at 30 but has like, greatly kind of increased visual stuff. And I think I'm actually okay with the trade-off in this case because I think that the game looks so fucking good.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's gonna bring us to an end for Best Remaster Port. So join us next time when we are going to talk about best moment or sequence in a video
Oh shit.
in a video. You got very excited there.
Oh, snap.